Good morning, my friends. Welcome to class. Let's get started. Welcome back to Foundations of English 9 for Monday, the 14th of September, 2020. All right, today is about planning ahead. So a few announcements we're going to go over in a second. We're going to do activity 11 through the Canvas discussion board. You're going to go through your classwork survey in Google Classroom, and then we'll talk about other independent work. So announcements. First, on Wednesday, because we don't have live classes, there will be meet the parent day, essentially. We're going to have morning times, afternoon times, and I'll put that schedule on the slide in just a minute. And that is a chance for you to join the Hangout, the Google Meet, and bring your parent with you. And they can talk to me, they can hear my little presentation, and then if they have general questions about the class, they can ask them. If they have individual questions about your performance or what's going on for you individually, they do need to set up a time to meet with me outside of that. This will not be a one-on-one time for any personal questions to be answered. It's going to be just a 15-minute, here's who I am, here's what the class is, here's how you can help, and then do you have any general questions? You should now have your Week 5 organizing document available in Google Classroom. Make sure you're checking that and marking it off, and so that you go through step by step and you make sure you're marking every assignment off as you do it so you don't miss anything. Tomorrow, also, we're going to review activity 9. We did that last week on Thursday, and then you may have had to go back afterwards because your group might not have attended the live class on Thursday. You need to finish that by tomorrow. This is one of the only assignments that I am cutting off and saying you can't get credit for it if it's not completed by the start of class tomorrow, Tuesday. So make sure you've completed that because we're going to review some of the answers on those. So here's the schedule for those Meet the Parent. So this is Wednesday. Notice there is a morning time and an afternoon evening time. I'll do the exact same thing both times, so your parents just need to choose one or the other. Okay, and again, it'll be a quick, here's what we're doing, here's what class is like, do you have any general questions, and no individual questions or one-on-one conversations about you or your performance. So let's dive into activity 11. This week, we're going to be working on writing a summary of Colvin's article using a summary guide. So a summary helps someone who has not read an article to understand the major parts and ideas and the main argument of the article. So right now, in the chat, you're going to give a brainstorm about what major parts and ideas from his article, from Jeff Colvin's article, What It Takes to Be Great, might be included if you were to write a summary about it. So I'm going to have about a 2-minute blank here so you have a chance to answer in the chat. If you answer in the chat during the live class, that assignment is completed. You get 100% credit for it. If you do not answer during the live class or you are watching this back later, you will have to complete an assignment in Google Classroom instead. So you're doing one of those two things. If you're here watching this live in class, you're going to do this in the chat and get credit for it right away. If not, you have to do this on Google Classroom. So again, brainstorm what would you include, what major parts or ideas from the article would be included if you were to write a summary of it. You have about 2 minutes to answer that. All right, your other main activity today is going to be to do a discussion on Canvas. So I've taken a screenshot here of what it looks like in Canvas. You're going to go over activity 11 with all of the different parts. You're going to read through it carefully. Then you're going to answer the first part. How is that different from other summaries you've written, and how is it similar? Then you need to ask a question about the assignment, the sentence frames, the guide, or the article in general. It needs to be a specific question and not just like, how do I do this? Or I don't get it, which is also not a question. Yes, you have to ask a question. It's really important to me that you learn to ask good questions and that you make sure that you're thinking through it enough to know what my question will be when I get stuck. So make sure you've read all the way through activity 11. It is in Google Classroom and it's actually attached, if you can see right here, it's attached to the Canvas discussion post. You can find this both in the modules tab for today's activity and in the discussions tab in Canvas. Okay, once you post, you will be able to see everyone else's answers, but you will not be able to see anyone else's answers until you actually post your response. This is a graded discussion and it does need to be completed by the end of the day tomorrow or you cannot get credit for it. And again, I'm doing that, setting a hard deadline because I want this to be done before we start writing the summary. So your independent work today is just that, to do the classwork survey in Classroom. Again, it asks you about how things are going for you. Please be honest. Don't lie to me on this. It's really important that I get your honest feedback. And then do the discussion post on activity 11 in Canvas. And if you're watching this back later, you need to make up that question in Google Classroom for today as well. As always, if you have questions or need my help, please talk to me. We can schedule a time during office hours. And I hope to see you and your parent on Wednesday. Otherwise, I will see you tomorrow.